Yo, it is Monkey D. Tyro, aka the guy who doesn't upload videos for 2 weeks. I know, I've been gone for like a good 2 weeks now, but I am back with a new, and I think it's gonna be a fun what if. This is What If Tanjiro Became a Demon. I do hope you guys enjoy. Roll the intro. After the death of Tanjiro's father, Tanjiro would practice the Kagura dance taught to him by his father before passing, to please his mother and, like the normal, to try and ward off sickness and death. His mother would succumb to anger and alcohol, which was rare for her to drink since in order to get it, it was basically so far away. She would try and cope with her husband's death. She would abuse Tanjiro day by day, beating him, which eventually led for him to get the marking on his forehead that he would normally get in the final selection of the original story. Day by day, he couldn't sell wood. Even though his sense of smell was almost freakish, he still couldn't sell any wood or coal. Tanjiro was seen as a disappointment, as heck, he couldn't even get a bride to try and pass on the family. No, he was the failure. Most of his siblings accomplished more than Tanjiro did. Even though Tanjiro tried his hardest, the Hinokami Kagura dance was the only thing he was good at. And yet, his mother did not even acknowledge it. Every single time Tanjiro did it, the only one that seemingly cared was Nezuko and his siblings. Speaking of which, even though Tanjiro was seen as a disappointment, Nezuko was seen as a blessing to the family. This made Tanjiro praise her, as she pretty much was the only bright sun in his life, besides the dance his father taught him. This would make Tanjiro want to protect her, and in order to do that, he must learn how to fight. This made him transform the Hinokami Kagura dance into a sword style, although he still called it the Hinokami Kagura, unknowing of the actual name. One day, after trying to sell wood and coal, Tanjiro decides to just go home, as he knows he's probably not going to get any more since it was nighttime. Because of his freakish sense of smell, he could smell this faint smell of blood, which smelled like rusted iron. Even though an old man tried warning him to not go up mountains in the dead of night because of demons, this only made Tanjiro want to go up and protect his sister more. He would walk into this house with a slaughtered family. The only two that were missing were his mother and his younger sister. He would grab his father's old katana, who his father said was just there for decoration. But unknowingly, this was actually the original Demon Slayer's katana, passed along with the earrings of the Kamado family. He tried finding the murderer, but it slowly revealed itself. His mother was turned into a demon, and apparently, by the looks of things, killed their entire family. Tanjiro was angered, so angry to the point where he couldn't even breathe. All he could think about was killing her. Of course, he didn't mind her hurting him, but the rest of the family was not fair. Tanjiro would fight his mom, but she was just too strong. Tanjiro never learned to properly breathe in order to incorporate the techniques to his fullest power. Eventually, Tanjiro's mother pinned Tanjiro to the ground, but luckily Tanjiro did have the sword near the neck. All he had to do was summon force of 100 times. Tanjiro told himself that she must have killed Nezuko since he couldn't see her, and that he must summon the force of 1,000 blades to try and cut her, just like Dad did to the bear back when he was 5. Tanjiro would continue to try and cut, but she still was too strong. Eventually, his heart raced, his blood boiled, and at the age of 13, he unlocked his Demon Slayer mark, which was flames near the left side of his forehead. Eventually, he would cut his own mother's head off, and Muzan Kibutsuji was watching, and he was going to kill Tanjiro when he saw someone beat him to the punch. Nezuko ran up to Tanjiro and stabbed him into the stomach. Tanjiro would look into Nezuko's eyes. Why? She killed her family. Nezuko with rage in her eyes and heart yelled at Tanjiro. It's your fault. It's all your fault. She became a demon to get rid of you, since you're such a disappointment. She would stab it further into his stomach with blood oozing out. I hate you. I always hated you. You killed her. You're a murderer. Over and over again, he would hear this in his mind. Tanjiro would realize that the only person he cared about since Dad died, was dead, and a demon was born. Tanjiro would reply to Nezuko's hatred. Who are you? Nezuko would be visibly confused. Tanjiro would continue. You're not my sister. She was kind and caring, but you're rude and cruel. Give her back or die. Nezuko would back away from Tanjiro, thinking that he finally snapped, that Dad's death finally got to him. She tried running away, but Tanjiro would whisper, Hino Kami Kagura. Dance. Killing Nezuko. Muzan, thinking an awful idea, a truly awful idea, seeing the swordsman snap, not even caring about human life anymore. And not only that, he had the sword style of the one who tried killing him. The enemy of your enemy is your friend. In order to beat your enemy is to become them. Muzan had a horrible idea. He would walk towards Tanjiro. Tanjiro would turn around to try and look at Muzan, and Muzan, out of fear, couldn't breathe until he finally said one word. Hello, young man. I saw what happened. Are you okay? Muzan asked. I smell a scent of fear from you. Are you scared of me? Tanjiro would ask Muzan. But Muzan would appear behind Tanjiro, surprising him, slowly showing Tanjiro that he, Muzan, is stronger than him, Tanjiro. Tanjiro, was it? When I look at you, I don't see disappointment. All I see is potential to be better. If you agree to become a demon, you will join my family, where you won't be treated so poorly as you once did. Tanjiro remembered all of his family, his father, until he realized that it's all gone anyway. He has nothing left. It's either this, or Muzan would just probably kill him. Tanjiro, then sniffed the air. If Muzan had any ill intent, he could smell it. But no, what he smelled was the sweetest smell he's ever smelled in his life. It was like pie. Tanjiro could tell Muzan was being caring, even though Muzan is just trying to give off this impression. Secretly, Muzan still had a horrible idea. Tanjiro shook his head in agreement, and Muzan gave Tanjiro his blood. making him pass out, waking up to Muzan in the Infinity Castle. "Who am I, Master Muzan?" Tanjiro asked, as Muzan smiled. "Rise, Tanjiro, and help me achieve my dream." Those were the first words Tanjiro could remember ever being told. And those were the first orders he was ever told as a demon. And he had nothing against it. He shook his head. "Yes, Master Muzan." Muzan would then summon all 12 demon moons to the Infinity Castle, and Muzan would look at all 12 demon moons, then look at Tanjiro. "Tanjiro, prove your worth to me. Choose one of them and fight to the death." Tanjiro looked at Doma. As Doma would look at Tanjiro in amusement, Kokushibo would be visibly angry as Tanjiro's marking on his forehead reminded him of something. But it wasn't just on his forehead. Ever since Tanjiro became a demon, the Demon Slayer mark spread around his body like wildfire, until it was visibly obvious that Tanjiro used to be a swordsman, which he still had the sword in hand. "I don't think you could take me on, Tanjiro. Maybe a lower moon, but not me. Hell no." As he would begin to laugh, Tanjiro would unsheath his sword, which was his father's, as Tanjiro then got a flash into the past. He could see himself as Yoriichi about to cut down Muzan. Tanjiro would then appear in front of Doma with swirls of flames behind him. Doma would try and summon ice, but the ice automatically melted as Tanjiro would whisper, "Hinokami Kagura, Sunflower Frost," decapitating Doma. And after seeing this, the cells in Muzan shook in fear, including Muzan himself and all of the 12 demon moons. Well, I mean all upper 12. The lower 12 were just shocked to see that the upper 12 were scared as well. Muzan proudly said, "Well done, Tanjiro. I'm so proud of you for killing that weakling. I shall reward you with rank of upper 2. I could do low upper 1, but I don't think Kibutsuchi would agree. Would you?" Kibutsuchi shook his head. "There's a lot of things wrong with his stance. I could probably take him." As Muzan would then smile. "Good. Train him." As Kibutsuchi would be confused. "Are you telling me to change him so he can take my place?" "Well, sort of. Don't worry, Kibutsuchi, you're still of importance. But don't you see it? Do you see the swordsmanship? It's just like him. We need him on our team." I want you to keep in mind that this conversation was in telepathic form. Tanjiro could not hear a single word. For the next few years, Tanjiro would live in the Infinity Castle as his base. Nakame, which is pretty much the person who could control the Infinity Castle, him and Nakame grew a close friendship. They kind of enjoyed each other's presence. Tanjiro didn't really bother her or annoy her, and they actually enjoyed her music, which made her smile. Finally, somebody can appreciate a good tune. He would also train with Akaza from time to time, once Akaza at a time, which allowed Tanjiro to develop his second blood demon art. Yes, he had two. The first one he learned by training with Kokushibo. Kokushibo told Tanjiro that the breath style he was using was the sun-breathing technique, which his older brother used, and that he can actually develop his blood demon art to make properties that the sun-breathing technique could actually be useful for. For example, he can make giant crescent moons for his moon breathing, but you can make flames with your sun breathing. Tanjiro got down Blood Demon Art very easily, and that was his first Blood Demon Art, Sun Breathing. Thanks to Akaza, he learned his second Blood Demon Art, which was called the Opening Thread of Destiny. Basically, Tanjiro, if he gets the scent of his opponent correctly, he can even predict movement by slight changes of the scent, which just means slight changes of muscle, pulses, pretty much anything. Even sweat could predict where somebody's going to go. Although he can only see up to a certain amount of time into the future, which is up to the intended purpose of the strike. So for example, let's say he was fighting somebody who wanted to do a combo, he could only see the combo. But if someone just wanted to punch him, he can only see the punch. That's pretty much basically it. After 2 years, Kokushibo even got stronger, which means that at the end of the day, Tanjiro was still upper 2, but it was super obvious that Tanjiro and Kokushibo are around the same strength. Kokushibo also taught Tanjiro how to properly breathe, which helped. Akaza even got stronger, as now he probably would have been upper 2 and stronger than Doma if Tanjiro just didn't exist, which he was not mad about. He loved fighting Tanjiro, it got him a thrill. After the Lower Moon 5th died, Muzan killed every Lower Moon except for Lower Moon 1 Emu. Muzan, fearing that Emu would fail on his mission, would ask Tanjiro to look after the Mugen train, which was Emu, pretty much where he was going to go. He asked Tanjiro to take care of any leftover Hashira or swordsmen that are there. And Muzan even told Tanjiro that he should probably eat someone, as Tanjiro, as a demon, surprisingly hasn't eaten a single human yet. Somehow, Tanjiro was still alive. Muzan theorized this was because of the sun breathing technique, but there was nothing to confirm it. After Rengoku took care of Lower Moon by himself, which, yes, we're just going to assume Rengoku can do it all by himself, because Zenitsu nor Inosuke would have been formed without Tanjiro, I guess. So yeah, Yurichi would show himself to Rengoku. "You're a Hashira, aren't you?" Tanjiro asked. "Yes, I'm the Flame Hashira, Kojiro Rengoku." "Tell me, Upper Moon 2, how many humans have you slain?" Rengoku asked. "I've only been a demon for 2 years, and I've been Upper Moon 2 for the same amount of time. Yet, surprisingly, I've only killed 2 humans, and yet I haven't eaten a single one. But it looks to me like I just got a 200 human meal on my dinner plate, including a Hashira. I must thank you." Rengoku replied. "Well, don't thank me yet." As Rengoku tried to strike Tanjiro, but he blocked it with his own sword. "Since you said your name, I think I should say mine. I am an Upper Moon 2, Tanjiro, the sun-breathing demon." Rengoku would realize and recognize the phrase, sun-breathing. "So, you were a former swordsman, were you?" Tanjiro would try and correct Rengoku. "No, I just know the sun-breathing technique. I was never really trained by a swordsman, unless you count Upper Moon 1, then I guess. So, tell me, were you a disgrace to the family because of turning into a demon?" Rengoku would ask. Tanjiro would correct him again. "I was a disgrace to a family either way. My mother became a demon." As Rengoku would kind of be filled with rage. "So then why did you become one?" As Tanjiro would reply by going behind Rengoku, showing off his speed. "Because I have nothing else." And this this is where we're going to end off part 1 of What If Tanjiro Became a Demon. I hope you guys do enjoy. Normally, when I read or watch stories like this, where Tanjiro became a demon, it's normally Nezuko and Tanjiro swapping roles. But I feel like Tanjiro using the sun breathing technique to instantly go up to Upper Moon 2 would make more sense. Also, I have a question down below in the comments. Do you think Tanjiro and the main series, right now, which is the Entertainment District arc, could defeat Upper Moon 2, Tanjiro, the sun-breathing demon? I personally don't think he would defeat him, especially since how I wrote out the next scene of the second part of the story. This was Chapter 1, Tanjiro Kamado, and this is me signing off. Bye, guys.